My beloved child, pause for a moment. Breathe. What you are about to hear is not random, not accidental, and not late. A divine tear has fallen. Yes, one tear. Not of weakness, but of deep love. Heaven is leaning toward you right now, and Jesus is trying to reach you in this exact moment. This message carries everything your soul has been asking in silence. And hear this clearly. This is not meant for everyone. This is meant for you. Right now, there is a spiritual window opening. It does not stay open forever. That urgency you feel in your chest, that gentle pressure in your spirit, that is not fear. That is recognition. You were meant to open this before the next moments passed, because timing matters in the realm of God. When heaven speaks, delay can cause distance. When Jesus calls, response creates alignment. Listen carefully. This divine tear did not fall because you failed. It fell because Jesus sees how long you have been holding on. He saw the nights you cried silently so no one else would worry. He saw the questions you never dared to speak out loud. He saw how you kept believing even when nothing around you made sense. And heaven responded. Archangel Michael is standing in this message not as a figure of fear, but as a guardian of truth. He is not here to intimidate you, he is here to wake you. There are moments when heaven sends comfort, and moments when heaven sends clarity. This is clarity wrapped in love. You may feel like you are at the edge of something, like life is about to shift, but you don't know how or when. That feeling is not confusion. That is transition. Jesus knows you are tired of cycles, tired of almosts, tired of doors that look promising but never fully open. And that is why this message is heavy with meaning. Hear this gently but firmly. Skipping this would not be punishment. It would be distance. Not because Jesus stops loving you, but because the moment would pass unreceived. Heaven speaks in seasons, and this season is speaking now. Jesus says, I have been knocking in ways you did not recognize. Through delays, through sudden endings, through the quiet pulling you felt toward prayer even when you didn't have words. This message is not here to scare you. It is here to realign you before the next chapter begins. There is something about your heart that heaven treasures. Something resilient. Something rare. You were not created to barely survive. You were created to carry light into places others gave up on. And lately, that light has been under pressure. Not because it is weak, but because it is powerful. Archangel Michael steps forward when protection and direction meet. And right now, he is guarding a decision point in your life. You don't see the full picture yet, but Jesus does. He sees what is being rearranged behind the scenes. He sees what is being removed for your protection. He sees what is being delayed so it can arrive whole. That divine tear. It carries compassion and warning together. Compassion because Jesus understands your weariness. Warning because distraction has been trying to pull you away from what truly matters. Not loud distraction, subtle distraction, overthinking, numbing, titillating. But this is not the end of your connection with heaven. This is the moment of reconnection. You may have felt lately like your prayers were hitting the ceiling. But hear this truth. Prayers are not blocked. They are being weighed. And the ones that come from a sincere, exhausted heart move heaven deeply. Jesus is near you right now. Not symbolically, not metaphorically. Near in presence. Near in awareness. Near in intention. And he is asking you to listen not with fear, but with trust. There is a reason your spirit feels alert right now. A reason your attention is fully here. A reason something inside you said, don't scroll. Don't ignore this. That reason is love calling love. This message holds everything not because it answers every question, but because it repositions your heart to receive what is coming next. And what is coming next will make sense of the waiting. Stay with this. Let it settle. Let it speak beneath the words. Because what follows will reveal why this divine tear fell now, and what Jesus is preparing to place back into your hands. Beloved soul, let your heart stay open as this unfolds. What you are feeling right now is not imagination. It is awareness. When Jesus reaches this close, the spirit begins to remember what the mind forgot. You are remembering who you are, and that is why this moment feels heavy and gentle at the same time. Heaven is not rushing you, but it is asking for your attention with intention. Jesus says, I know where you almost gave up. Not the dramatic moments, those quiet inner withdrawals where you stopped expecting, stopped hoping, stopped asking. Those were not failures. Those were survival instincts. And heaven does not judge you for surviving. But now, survival is no longer enough. This message comes because it is time to live aligned again. Archangel Michael is still present, not speaking loudly, but standing firmly. His presence signals that something has been trying to confuse your discernment. You have been sensing mixed signals, doors that feel half right, voices that sound convincing but leave you empty afterward. This is why clarity is arriving now, not to overwhelm you, but to sharpen your inner hearing. Jesus is asking you to come closer, not through perfection, but through honesty. If you are tired, say it. If you are unsure, admit it. Heaven responds fastest to truth. And right now, truth is rising in you. You are realizing that some connections drained you, some dreams were too small, and some fears stayed longer than they were invited. There is a correction happening, but it is gentle. Like a shepherd turning a sheep back from the edge, not with force, but with presence. Jesus has been redirecting you through delays, through unanswered texts, through plans that fell apart at the last minute. What you thought was inconvenience was actually intervention. Hear this clearly. You are not behind. Heaven does not measure time the way humans do. What matters is alignment, not speed. And you are being aligned again. The divine tear that fell earlier was not sorrow. It was recognition. Recognition that you stayed tender in a world that tried to harden you. This is why this message must be shared, not because of numbers, but because someone else is also waiting for confirmation that Jesus still sees them. When you like this message, when you comment, when you share it with someone who feels forgotten, you are not helping an algorithm, you are extending a lifeline. You are participating in something eternal. If this message is touching your spirit, make it visible. Let heaven see your agreement through action. Subscribe to this channel so these messages can continue to reach you exactly when you need them. Join this space not as entertainment, but as a place of alignment. And don't keep this to yourself. Send it to someone who needs reassurance that Jesus has not gone silent. Jesus says when you testify, even quietly, I multiply. Your simple action becomes someone else's answered prayer, and heaven takes that seriously. There is another layer to this moment. You are being prepared for responsibility, not burden, but stewardship. Something valuable is being placed back into your care soon. It can be peace. It can be direction. It could be a relationship restored in a healthier way. But before it arrives, your heart is being recalibrated. Archangel Michael stands guard because once clarity comes, resistance often follows. Old patterns will try to pull you back. Familiar doubt will whisper, nothing ever changes. But that voice is not truth, it is habit. and habits lose power when light exposes them. Jesus is not asking you to figure everything out today. He is asking you to stay open, to keep listening, to remain responsive. This message is not the end. It is the beginning of a conversation that will continue unfolding. You may notice your thoughts slowing after this, your breathing deepening. That is not coincidence. That is peace re-entering. Peace that does not explain everything, but reassures you that you are not alone in the unknown. Let this settle. Let it move from your ears to your spirit. And as you stay here, as you remain present with this message, something deeper is about to be revealed, something that will connect the past confusion with future clarity in a way you did not expect. Hold on, what comes next carries an answer you have been quietly waiting for. Chosen one, there is a sacred stillness forming around you now. This is the kind of stillness that comes before revelation, when heaven leans in and the noise of the world fades. Jesus is not distant in this moment. He is intentional. He is speaking softly because what he is seeing is weighty. Loud words are not needed when truth is near. You have been asking for a sign, even if you did not say it out loud. You asked through your patience. You asked through your endurance. You asked by staying kind when it would have been easier to close your heart. And heaven answered not with thunder but with presence. This message is that presence. Jesus says, I saw the moment you almost stopped believing it could change. That moment mattered. Not because you doubted, but because you stayed. You stayed when clarity was missing. You stayed when prayers felt unfinished. That endurance has been recorded. And now, something is being released because of it. Archangel Michael is here again. But now his role shifts. He is not only guarding, he is clearing. Clearing confusion. Clearing spiritual residue from past disappointments. Clearing voices that were never sent by God but still managed to influence your decisions. This clearing is necessary because what is coming next requires a clean spiritual atmosphere. Here is a truth Jesus wants you to receive without resistance. Some delays were protection. Some closed doors were mercy. Some unanswered prayers were redirection. You were never overlooked. You were being preserved. Preserved for a moment when your heart could hold the blessing without breaking under its weight. This is why the divine tear fell. Not because of pain, but because of timing. Jesus feels deeply when his children reach the edge of breakthrough without realizing how close they are. The tear carried compassion and urgency together. Compassion for your journey. Urgency because alignment must happen before manifestation. You are stepping into a phase where discernment becomes sharper. You will begin to sense what is off before it harms you. You will feel peace when something is right, even if it does not look perfect. This is not coincidence. This is spiritual maturity activating. Archangel Michael stands as a reminder that you are not defenseless. You never were. The battles you survived were not won by strength alone. They were won by grace and unseen protection. And the same protection surrounds you now as your path adjusts. Jesus is not asking you to fear missing him. He is inviting you to recognize him, to notice how he speaks through alignment rather than anxiety, through peace rather than pressure. If something pulls you into panic, it is not from him. If something anchors you in calm confidence, even quietly, that is where he is. This message holds everything because it returns you to truth. Truth about who you are. Truth about where you are going. Truth about what no longer belongs in your life. And truth has a way of simplifying what confusion made heavy. You may feel an emotional release after this. Tears, relief, clarity, or even silence. All of it is valid. Heaven does not rush healing. It allows it to unfold. And right now, Your spirit is being recalibrated to receive without fear. Jesus says, stay receptive, not alert in tension, but open in trust. The next steps will come naturally. The right conversations will find you. The right confirmations will appear without you chasing them. This is what happens when alignment replaces striving. Before this moment passes, mark it, not outwardly but inwardly. Let your heart acknowledge that something shifted, because it did, and heaven responds where acknowledgement meets faith. Type I receive his call in the comments if this message is speaking directly to your spirit. Lesson code 444 has just been released. As this word settles, hear this final invitation clearly. What you are receiving here is not meant to stop with you. When you sow into this work, you become a carrier of light to souls who are still waiting in silence. I hear the Lord saying, as you release, I release through you, just as rivers flow when the gates are opened. This message goes forward because obedient hearts respond in the moment. If you feel that stirring now, act on it. Support this mission through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal, with a link waiting in the description. I bless every seed sown here as an act of faith, and I declare increase, clarity, and divine covering over your life. Do not delay what heaven is prompting. Move now and let God multiply it. My precious one, something ancient is stirring within you now. Not old in a broken way, but ancient in a sacred way. It is the memory of who you were before disappointment taught you to shrink your expectations. Jesus is awakening that memory gently, because he knows how fragile hope can feel after a long season of waiting. This is not a return to the past. This is a restoration of truth. You are entering a phase where silence will begin to speak louder than noise. You will notice that chaos no longer excites you, and drama no longer holds your attention. This is not because you are becoming distant, but because your spirit is becoming refined. Jesus refines those he is about to entrust with more. Archangel Michael remains near, not visible, but effective. His role now is subtle protection. You are being shielded from things you will never even realize tried to reach you. Conversations that could have delayed you. Choices that looked harmless but carried hidden cost. Heaven is intercepting on your behalf because your focus must remain clear. Jesus says, you are not losing interest in life. You are losing interest in what no longer feeds your soul. That distinction matters. Many mistake spiritual growth for emptiness, when in reality it is discernment taking root. You are becoming selective, and that selectivity is wisdom. There will be moments soon when you feel slightly out of place, even among people you once felt comfortable with. Do not panic. This is not isolation. It is elevation. When your frequency shifts, not everyone can hear you the same way. And that is okay. Jesus often leads his own into quieter spaces so they can hear him without interference. Something else is happening beneath the surface. Your intuition is sharpening. You will sense when to speak and when to remain silent, when to move forward and when to wait. This is not hesitation. This is timing awareness. And timing, in the kingdom of God, is everything. You may begin to notice that answers come to you in unexpected ways. Through a sentence someone casually says, through a pause that feels intentional, through a sudden peace about something that used to worry you. These are not coincidences. These are confirmations. Jesus speaks through patterns when his children are ready to notice them. Archangel Michael stands watch because this level of awareness attracts both opportunity and testing. Not to harm you, but to strengthen your discernment. You are learning not every open door is an invitation, and not every delay is denial. This wisdom will protect you more than speed ever could. Jesus is preparing you to trust your inner stillness. that quiet knowing that does not shout, but remains steady. The world trains people to react quickly, but heaven trains people to respond accurately. You are being trained. There is also healing taking place around your sense of worth. You may not realize it yet, but you are beginning to stop proving yourself. You are releasing the need to be understood by everyone. This is freedom. When you no longer chase validation, you create space for alignment. Jesus says, I am not calling you to be impressive. I am calling you to be anchored. Anchored hearts are not easily shaken. They move with confidence, not comparison. And that is where you are heading. You might feel a desire to simplify things in your life. Less noise, less explanation, less pressure. Follow that instinct. Simplicity creates clarity, and clarity invites peace. Heaven moves most freely where there is room to breathe. As this shift continues, be gentle with yourself. Growth can feel disorienting before it feels empowering. You are not losing parts of yourself. You are shedding layers that were never truly yours. Jesus removes without ripping. He heals without exposing. He leads without forcing. There will be a moment soon when you realize you are no longer reacting the way you used to. Something that once triggered anxiety will barely touch you. Something that once hurt deeply will feel distant. This is not numbness. This is healing completing a cycle. Archangel Michael's presence ensures that what is being built in you is not easily undone. Foundations are being reinforced. Faith is becoming quieter but stronger. Trust is becoming deeper but calmer. This is mature spirituality, and it is beautiful. Stay present with this process. Do not rush to label it. Let it unfold. Jesus is not in a hurry with you because he knows where he is leading you. And where you are going requires exactly the strength you are developing now. Rest in this knowing. Nothing is wrong with you. Nothing is missing. Nothing is late. You are exactly where you need to be for what is aligning next. And when the moment comes, you will not have to chase it. It will recognize you. Beloved heart, as you remain here, something within you is beginning to settle. Not in resignation, but in assurance. This is the quiet confidence that comes when Jesus reassures the soul without needing to explain every detail. You are learning how to rest while still moving forward, and that balance is sacred. There was a time when you felt you had to hold everything together on your own. You carried responsibilities that were never meant to weigh so heavily on you. Jesus saw that strain. He saw how often you showed strength outwardly while feeling fragile inside. And now, he is gently teaching you that surrender is not weakness, it is wisdom. Archangel Michael remains attentive, because surrender invites transformation, and transformation attracts attention. Not all attention is negative, but discernment is required. You will notice that as you grow calmer, others may seek your presence more. Your peace will speak louder than your words. This is not accidental. Peace is a testimony. Jesus says, let go of the need to control outcomes. Control was your shield in uncertain seasons, but now trust is your covering. You do not have to predict every turn or prepare for every possibility. Heaven is already ahead of you. What is meant for you is being guided toward you with precision. Something else is shifting, your relationship with time. You will feel less rushed, even when life remains busy. This is because urgency is being replaced by purpose. Purpose does not hurry, it aligns. And alignment brings confidence that no effort is wasted. You may reflect on past choices with new understanding. Not regret, but clarity. You will see why certain paths did not work, why certain people could not say, why certain dreams had to be reshaped. This clarity is healing. It releases you from self-blame and replaces it with self-compassion. Jesus is restoring your ability to dream without fear of disappointment. Slowly, gently, He is inviting you to imagine again, not from pressure, but from possibility. Dreams that come from Him do not exhaust you. They energize you, even when they require patience. Archangel Michael stands guard because when hope reawakens, it must be protected. Not everyone needs to know what is forming in you. Some things grow best in quiet soil. You are learning the value of privacy, of holding certain things between you and God until they are strong enough to stand on their own. There will be moments when you are tempted to explain yourself, to justify your pace, to prove your progress. Resist that urge. Your journey does not need external validation. Jesus validates what He authors, and what He is writing in you now is intentional and beautiful. You may feel a deeper pull toward stillness, moments of reflection, prayer, or simply sitting without distraction. This is not withdrawal from life. It is reconnection to Source. In stillness, you hear what noise cannot teach you. Jesus says, "I am teaching you how to hear me without fear." Fear once distorted your listening. You questioned every nudge, doubted every impression. But now, trust is replacing tension. You are learning His tone. You are recognizing His peace. There is also a strengthening happening around your boundaries. You will find it easier to say no without guilt, to step back without apology, to protect your energy without explanation. These boundaries are not walls, they are doors with discernment. Archangel Michael's presence ensures that these boundaries remain intact. You are being trained not to overextend, not to rescue what is not yours to fix, not to carry what you were never assigned. This will preserve your joy. Jesus is preparing you for a season where your presence alone will minister to others. You will not need to preach or persuade. Your calm, your clarity, your consistency will speak. People will feel safe around you. Seen. Heard. That is ministry in its purest form. As this part of your journey unfolds, be patient with yourself. Growth is not linear. Some days you will feel strong, others tender. Both are valid. Both are part of the process. Jesus walks with you through all of it. Remember this truth as you continue. You are not becoming someone else. You are becoming more fully yourself, the version God always intended, unburdened by fear and anchored in trust. And that version of you is powerful in ways you are only beginning to understand. Beloved one, there is a strengthening happening now that you may not immediately recognize. It is not loud. It does not announce itself with dramatic change. It is quiet, steady, and deeply rooted. This is the kind of strength Jesus builds when He knows you are about to step into greater responsibility without losing your peace. You are learning how to stand without bracing yourself for impact. In the past, you stayed alert because you expected something to go wrong. That constant readiness drained you more than you realized. Jesus is healing that pattern. He is teaching your spirit that it is safe to rest while remaining aware. Archangel Michael remains near because this stage requires reinforcement. When old survival instincts loosen their grip, there can be moments of vulnerability. Not weakness, openness. Heaven protects openness fiercely. You are being guarded as you learn to trust calm again. Jesus says, you no longer need to anticipate loss to appreciate stability. That sentence is important. Stability is not boredom. It is safety. And safety allows growth. You will notice that you are responding differently to stress. What once overwhelmed you now feels manageable. This is progress. Your thoughts are becoming more organized, less scattered. Decisions feel clear. Even when you do not know the full outcome, you sense the right direction. That sense is not coming from logic alone. It is coming from alignment. Alignment simplifies what confusion complicated. There is also a shift in how you view yourself. You are beginning to see your own value without attaching it to performance. This is crucial. When identity is rooted in being, not doing, exhaustion loses its power. Jesus is restoring your sense of worth from the inside out. Archangel Michael stands watch because when identity stabilizes, influence increases. Not influence as in control, but influence as in presence. Your words will begin to carry more weight because they are no longer driven by urgency. They come from clarity. You may notice people responding to you differently, listening more, respecting your boundaries, seeking your perspective. This is not coincidence. This is the fruit of internal alignment becoming visible externally. Jesus is also adjusting your expectations. You are no longer chasing instant results. You are learning the value of consistency. Seeds planted faithfully grow stronger than those scattered in haste. And you are becoming a careful planter. If this message is resonating, let it move beyond listening. When you like this message, when you leave a comment, when you share it, you are not just engaging. You are affirming alignment. These actions signal agreement, and agreement amplifies impact. Subscribe to this channel and stay connected to this flow of clarity and encouragement. Join the community that is forming here, not as spectators, but as participants in growth. If you feel called to go deeper, consider joining the membership. This space is being built intentionally for those who want consistent spiritual grounding. And do not underestimate the power of sharing. Someone you know is standing where you once stood, uncertain, tired, quietly hoping for reassurance. Send this message to them. Let it reach beyond you. Jesus says, what you water grows. When you support what feeds your spirit, you create room for more of it. This is not about promotion. It is about positioning. There is another layer to this moment. You are being trained to remain steady even when others are unsettled. This will be important. Calm is contagious when it is genuine. You will become a stabilizing presence, and that is a gift. Archangel Michael's protection ensures that this steadiness is not shaken by external noise. Opinions will come and go. Circumstances will shift, but your center will remain intact. That is the kind of resilience heaven builds. Jesus is pleased with your progress, even if you do not always feel it. Growth is often invisible while it is happening, but soon you will look back and realize how far you have come. Stay with this message. Let it continue to unfold in you. What comes next will connect the inner changes you are experiencing with a clear outward direction, and you will want to be present for that moment, because it brings everything together in a way that finally makes sense. Beloved soul, a deeper clarity is settling into you now, and this one feels different. It is not emotional. It is not reactive. It is steady, grounded, and quietly confident. This is the clarity that comes after storms, when the waters finally calm and you can see what was always there beneath the surface. Jesus is guiding you into this awareness with patience because he knows how much you have carried. There is a realization forming inside you that you no longer need to fight for space in places where you were never meant to stay. That constant effort to fit, to explain, to prove your intentions is slowly dissolving. Not because you stopped caring, but because you started valuing peace more than approval. This shift is holy. Jesus says, you are allowed to choose rest without guilt. That sentence may touch something deep in you. For a long time, Rest felt undeserved, like something you had to earn after exhaustion. But rest is not a reward. It is a requirement for alignment. And alignment is what you are stepping into now. Archangel Michael remains present, not to confront, but to reinforce. Reinforce the boundaries you are now honoring. Reinforce the discernment you are practicing. Reinforce the courage it takes to walk away quietly instead of arguing loudly. Heaven respects restraint. You are learning that not every battle needs your energy. Some things resolve themselves when you stop engaging. Some misunderstandings lose power when you no longer try to correct them. This is not avoidance. This is wisdom choosing peace over ego. Jesus is also restoring your sense of direction. You may not have a detailed map yet, but you have something better, inner confirmation. You are beginning to trust that gentle pull toward what feels right, even when it does not make logical sense immediately. Faith often speaks before clarity catches up. There is a soft confidence emerging in how you carry yourself. You are less reactive, more observant. You listen more deeply. You speak more intentionally. This is not withdrawal, it is presence. You are fully here, but no longer scattered. Archangel Michael stands guard because this stage often invites old patterns to test your resolve. Old temptations to over-explain. Old habits of self-doubt. Old fears of being misunderstood. But you are no longer who you were when those patterns formed. They do not fit you anymore. Jesus says, you are growing out of what once felt familiar. Familiarity is not the same as destiny. Some things feel comfortable because they are known, not because they are right. You are learning to choose alignment over comfort. There may be moments when this growth feels lonely, not isolated but quiet. Fewer distractions, fewer unnecessary conversations. This is not loss, it is refinement. When God prepares someone for clarity, He often reduces the noise around them. You are also becoming more aware of your inner voice. That quiet discernment that gently says yes or no without drama. This voice grows stronger the more you honor it. And soon, it will guide you effortlessly where you once struggled. Jesus is pleased with the way you are learning to pause before reacting. That pause is powerful. In it, you choose wisdom over impulse. You choose peace over control. And heaven responds to those choices. Archangel Michael's presence ensures that this new calm is not shaken by external pressure. You will encounter moments that once would have triggered anxiety, but now they will pass without disturbance. This is not because you stopped caring. It is because you started trusting. There is also healing happening around your expectations of others. You are releasing the need for everyone to meet you at your level of depth. You are accepting people as they are, without lowering your standards or hardening your heart. This balance is rare, and it is precious. Jesus says, you do not need to dim your light to keep others comfortable. The truth may require courage, but as you live it, you will notice that the right people draw closer naturally, without force or effort. This stage of your journey is about integration, bringing together what you have learned, what you have healed, and who you are becoming. It is not flashy. It is foundational. And foundations determine how high something can grow. Stay present with this process. Don't not right to label it or right to finish it. What is forming in you now will support everything that comes next. And when the next movement arrives, you will recognize it, not by urgency, but by peace. Beloved child, you have reached a turning point that many sense, but few recognize while standing in it. This is the moment when what has been forming quietly inside you begins to align with what is about to unfold around you. Jesus is not rushing this transition because it must be rooted. not rushed, but grows slowly, grows strong. There is a deep inner knowing awakening now. You may not be able to explain it fully, but you can feel it. A certainty without noise. A confidence without pride. This is not emotional excitement. This is spiritual readiness. Jesus prepares his own long before he reveals the reason why. Archangel Michael stands close in this hour, not with urgency, but with authority. His presence signals that something significant has shifted in the spiritual realm concerning you. Old assignments have ended. Old permissions have expired. What once had access to your peace no longer does. This is not because you fought harder, but because you matured. You are beginning to understand that obedience is not always about action. Sometimes it is about restraint. Sometimes it is about waiting when everything in you wants to move. Jesus is teaching you the power of still obedience, the kind that trusts even when it does not understand. There is also a refinement happening in your desires. What you want now feels different than before. You are less drawn to what impresses others and more drawn to what sustains you. This is alignment. Heaven always reshapes desire before it releases direction. Jesus says, I am removing the rush from your spirit. Rushing once felt necessary because you feared missing something. But what is meant for you does not require panic. It recognizes you. It waits for you. And when it arrives, it will come with peace, not pressure. Archangel Michael's role here is protection during transition. Transitions can feel disorienting because the old no longer fits and the new has not fully appeared. But this in-between space is holy. It is where trust deepens and dependence on God strengthens. You may notice that your prayers have changed. Fewer words, more listening, less asking, more trusting. This is not spiritual decline. It is spiritual depth. Jesus listens closely to quiet faith. There is also a release happening around fear of the future. Not because you suddenly have all the answers, but because you trust the one who does. The future no longer feels like a threat. It feels like an unfolding. Jesus is preparing you to walk with calm authority. Not dominance. Not control. Authority that comes from alignment. When you speak soon, people will listen differently. Not because you demand attention, but because truth carries weight. If this message is reaching you, respond to it. Not later. Now, like this message, comment what you are receiving. Share it with someone who needs reassurance that growth can be gentle and powerful at the same time. Subscribe to this channel so you remain connected to these moments of clarity. Join the membership if your spirit is asking for deeper consistency and grounding. This is not content. It is a space for alignment. And trust this. Before you scroll away, let this message complete its work in you. What follows connects everything. Jesus says, when you honor what feeds you, I multiply it. Your engagement is not small. It is participation. And now hear this carefully. Type I step into alignment in the comments if you feel this shift happening within you. Blessing code 818 has just been released. And as this blessing settles, let this moment extend beyond listening. I hear the Lord saying, those who help carry this word will never lack clarity. When you support this mission, you are not funding a channel. You are helping light reach hearts that are still in the dark. Just as oil keeps the lamp burning, your seed keeps this message flowing to those who are waiting for confirmation. This is a prophetic moment to act. Not later, not when it feels convenient. So now through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal, with a link placed in the description, I speak blessing over every giver, declaring open doors, steady provision, and divine alignment in your life. Obey the nudge, move now, and let heaven respond. Beloved one, after alignment comes integration. This is the phase where what heaven has adjusted within you begins to settle into daily life. It is quieter than breakthrough moments, but it is just as powerful. Jesus is teaching you how to live from this new center without slipping back into old rhythms. This is where transformation becomes sustainable. You may notice that your reactions are changing before you consciously decide to change them. Where you once felt immediate tension, there is now a pause. Where you once felt pressure to respond, there is now discernment. This is not restraint born of fear. It is composure born of trust. Your spirit is learning to lead instead of react. Jesus says, "What I establish in you, I also stabilize." He does not awaken clarity only to let it fade. He anchors it. And right now, He is anchoring you. That is why this season may feel steady but unspectacular. Stability is not a lack of movement. It is movement without chaos. Archangel Michael remains present in a quieter way. His work now is maintenance, not confrontation. Protection does not always look dramatic. Often it looks like peace remaining undisturbed. You are being kept from distractions that once would have consumed your energy. You may not even notice what no longer reaches you, and that is part of the blessing. You are also learning how to steward your energy. You are becoming aware of what drains you and what restores you. This awareness is not selfish. It is necessary. Jesus never asked His followers to pour from emptiness. He often withdrew to be restored. You are allowed to do the same. There is a growing confidence in your decisions, not because you are certain of every outcome, but because you trust the process. You are walking with God. Doubt no longer paralyzes you. It may still whisper, but it no longer commands your attention. Trust has taken the lead. Jesus is also reshaping your relationship with expectation. You are releasing unrealistic timelines and embracing divine timing. This does not make you passive, it makes you patient. Patience anchored in faith is powerful because it does not waver under pressure. You may find yourself simplifying conversations, commitments, even goals. This is not regression. It is refinement. When clarity increases, excess falls away naturally. You are learning that not everything needs to be carried, explained, or pursued. Archangel Michael's presence ensures that as you simplify, you do not second-guess yourself. You are allowed to choose less without guilt. Less noise, less striving, less emotional labor. The space you are creating is not empty. It is prepared. Jesus says, "I am teaching you to recognize fruit, not effort." Effort can be misleading. Fruit reveals truth. You are beginning to evaluate your life not by how busy you are, but by how much peace and integrity are present. This is wisdom. There may be moments when others misunderstand your new pace. They may interpret your calm as distance or your boundaries as withdrawal. Do not be troubled by this. Alignment often looks unfamiliar to those who are still driven by urgency. You are not responsible for managing their interpretations. You are also becoming more comfortable with silence. Not awkward silence, but restful silence. The kind where you do not feel the need to fill space with words. This silence is fertile ground. It allows insight to surface and intuition to speak clearly. Jesus is pleased with this maturity. He is not looking for constant motion. He is looking for faithfulness. And faithfulness often looks like consistency rather than intensity. You are learning to walk steadily, not sprint and collapse. Archangel Michael continues to guard your discernment. You will notice that certain opportunities no longer excite you the way they once did. This is not loss of ambition. It is alignment of purpose. What is not meant for you will feel heavy. What is meant for you will feel clear, even if challenging. As you move through this phase, be patient with the unfolding. Integration takes time. Roots grow deeper before branches extend outward. And what is growing in you now will support expansion later without strain. Remember this: you are not waiting for life to begin. You are living in the foundation of what is coming. Every quiet, faithful step matters. Jesus walks with you here, just as much as he does in moments of revelation. Stay grounded. Stay open. Stay present. What has been planted is growing, even when you cannot see it yet. Beloved soul, you are now standing at a threshold where inner stability begins to express itself outwardly. This is the stage where alignment quietly turns into direction. Not rushed, not forced, just revealed step by step. Jesus is guiding you here with intention, because what comes next must be walked in wisdom, not impulse. You may notice that situations are presenting themselves differently now. Conversations feel more purposeful. Opportunities feel more precise. Even challenges seem clearer in what they are asking of you. This is not because life suddenly became easier, but because your perspective has shifted. You are seeing from a higher place. Jesus says, "I am teaching you to move without noise." In the past, movement required effort, explanation, and reassurance. Now, movement will come with calm confidence. You will know when to act, and you will not feel the need to justify why. This is authority rooted in trust. Archangel Michael remains near because when direction becomes clearer, focus must be protected. Distraction will try to re-enter, not loudly but subtly. Through comparison, through unnecessary urgency, through old fears dressed as responsibility. But you are more aware now. You will recognize what does not belong. There is also a strengthening of your resolve. You are becoming comfortable making decisions that honor your peace, even if they disappoint others. This is not selfishness. This is stewardship. Jesus never asked you to abandon yourself to please everyone. He asked you to follow truth. You may feel a growing desire to commit more deeply to what nourishes your spirit. Not occasionally. Consistently. This is important. Persistency creates momentum, and momentum creates transformation. What you engage with regularly shapes what you carry internally. If this message has been guiding you, respond to it with intention. Like this message as an act of agreement. Leave a comment, not for visibility, but as a marker of what God is doing in you. Share this with someone who may be standing at the edge of clarity, unsure of their next step. Subscribe to this channel so you remain connected to these moments of alignment and truth. This is not just content, it is a rhythm. A place where clarity meets consistency. And if your spirit is asking for deeper grounding, join the membership and walk this journey with others who are choosing growth over noise. Jesus says, "What you return to, I reinforce." Returning to what feeds you strengthens what is being built in you. There is also a call forming around responsibility. Not pressure, but ownership. You are beginning to understand that your life carries influence, even in quiet ways. How you respond, how you speak, how you remain calm when others are reactive. These are not small things. They shape environments. Archangel Michael's presence ensures that as your influence grows, your humility remains intact. Pride is loud. True authority is quiet. And you are learning to walk in quiet authority. You may notice that you are less interested in convincing people and more interested in being consistent. This is maturity. Consistency speaks louder than explanation. Over time, truth proves itself without defense. Jesus is also preparing you for a moment of choice ahead. Not a dramatic crossroads, but a subtle decision that will determine pace and direction. When it arrives, you will recognize it by peace, not pressure. Remember that. Peace is the signal. As you continue listening, stay present. Do not rush ahead mentally. There is something about what is coming next that ties together everything you have been sensing but could not fully articulate. This is where understanding deepens. Hold on just a little longer. This is where the message sharpens, and you will want to hear this part clearly because it confirms what your spirit has been quietly preparing for all along. Beloved child, there is a deep sense of recognition unfolding within you now. It is the feeling of finally understanding something without needing it explained. This is not sudden knowledge. It is revealed wisdom. Jesus is allowing pieces to come together in a way that feels natural, almost familiar, as if your spirit always knew this moment would arrive. You are beginning to see how every season you walked through carried purpose, even the ones that confused you the most. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was random. The delays shaped your discernment. The disappointments refined your expectations. The quiet seasons strengthened your inner hearing. What once felt like detours were actually preparation routes. Jesus says, I was training you for discernment, not dependence. That is why some answers did not come quickly. That is why some prayers were met with silence instead of clarity. Silence taught you how to listen beyond words. And now, that listening has matured into knowing, Archangel Michael stands close in this moment because realization brings responsibility. When truth becomes clear, it asks something of you, not urgency, but alignment. You are being invited to live differently, not dramatically, but intentionally. Small choices will begin to matter more because they shape the direction you are now ready to walk. You may notice a shift in how you view your past. What once carried emotional charge is beginning to feel neutral. Not erased, not dismissed. Resolved. This is healing reaching completion in areas you thought would always remain tender. Jesus heals thoroughly. When he restores, he does not leave fragments behind. There is also a strengthening of trust happening between you and God. Not trust based on outcomes, but trust based on relationship. You are no longer asking, will this work? As often as you are asking, is this aligned? The change alone protects you from many unnecessary battles. Archangel Michael's presence ensures that this clarity is not clouded by old fears trying to resurface. Fear may attempt to remind you of past disappointments, but it will not carry the same authority. You have seen too much. You have grown too far. You are no longer easily shaken by what once unsettled you. Jesus is preparing you for a quieter kind of confidence, one that does not announce itself but is unmistakable. People may not know why they trust your words or feel calm around you, but they will. This is influence that comes from integrity, not effort. You are also learning how to hold vision without tension, to anticipate without anxiety, to move forward without rushing ahead of grace. This balance is rare, and it is cultivated over time. You have earned it through patience. There may be moments when you feel a sense of responsibility settle on you, not heaviness, but awareness. Awareness that your choices matter beyond yourself, that how you respond can bring peace or confusion into a space. Jesus is not burdening you. He is entrusting you. Archangel Michael guards this trust carefully. He ensures that pride does not distort it and fear does not diminish it. You are learning to carry responsibility with humility, and humility keeps authority clean. Jesus says, you are ready to walk without constant reassurance. That does not mean you are alone. It means you are anchored. Anchored hearts do not need constant confirmation. They recognize truth when it arrives. You may find that your prayers are becoming more declarative and less pleading, more aligned and less uncertain. This is not because you have everything figured out, but because your faith has matured. You trust God's character, even when you do not see the full plan. There is a sense of completion forming around this phase, not an ending but a ceiling. What was taught hath been learned. What was healed hath been integrated. What was prepared is nearly ready to be expressed. As you remain present, resist the urge to rush into interpretation. Let this understanding settle deeply. Some revelations need time to root before they bear fruit. Jesus is patient with that process, and he invites you to be patient too. The next movement will not feel chaotic. It will feel clear. It will not demand everything at once. It will invite obedience one step at a time, and you will recognize it because it will resonate with everything you have been learning to trust within yourself. Stay here. Stay open. Here is one final layer yet to be revealed, one that brings closure, blessing, and commissioning together. And when it comes, you will know that this entire journey was leading you exactly here. My beloved child, this is the moment where everything gently comes together, not with noise, not with spectacle, but with certainty. What you have been walking through was never about confusion. It was about formation. Jesus has been shaping you quietly, faithfully, intentionally, and now you are standing in a place where your spirit can finally say, I understand why. There is a deep peace available to you now, and it is not fragile. It does not depend on circumstances behaving perfectly. It rests on truth. You are no longer searching for signs everywhere because discernment has been built within you. You can feel when something is right. You can sense when something is not. This is spiritual maturity, and heaven trusts you with it. Jesus says, you are no longer asking me to prove myself to you. You are walking with me. That is the shift. Relationship has replaced reassurance. Trust has replaced fear. And obedience has replaced striving. You are not chasing God anymore. You are walking beside him. Archangel Michael stands in this final moment not as a warrior, but as a witness to the fact that you endured without becoming bitter, that you waited without hardening your heart, that you listened even when clarity took time. Heaven honors that kind of faithfulness. There is a commissioning happening now, subtle but real. Not a public title, not a dramatic announcement, but an internal authorization. You are being trusted with influence, with discernment, with responsibility. Your life will speak in rooms you never planned to enter. Your calm will settle storms you did not create. Your presence will remind others that peace is possible. Jesus is not calling you to do more. He is calling you to be aligned. From alignment, everything else flows naturally. Decisions become clearer. Boundaries become firm. Love becomes purer. And fear loses its voice. You may still face challenges ahead, but they will not define you. They will refine you. You will not feel lost in them the way you once did. You will move through them with awareness, knowing that nothing comes without purpose when you are walking with God. There is also closure being released over old questions. You may not get every answer intellectually, but emotionally and spiritually, something is settling. You no longer need to revisit certain memories to understand them. Healing has done its work. Jesus says, why begin? I complete. This is not the end of your journey, but it is the end of a cycle of uncertainty, a cycle of internal struggle, a cycle of feeling almost ready but not quite. The chapter is closing gently, without drama, without regret. From this point forward, your life will move with quieter confidence. You will not need to announce your growth. It will be evident in how you respond, how you choose, how you rest. This is fruit, and fruit speaks for itself. Archangel Michael's presence assures you that what has been established will be protected. You are not stepping forward alone. You are surrounded by grace, guided by truth, and covered by divine order. Before this moment passes, seal it. Type "I walk in alignment" in the comments if you receive this word fully. Blessing code 1212 has just been released. And now, let this moment extend beyond you. I hear the Lord saying, those who help carry this message will never walk without light. This is not about supporting a channel. It is about partnering with a calling. When you give through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal, you are sowing into souls who are still waiting to hear that God has not forgotten them. I declare that every seed sown here becomes a river that flows back into your life with peace, provision, and clarity. This is not a suggestion. It is a divine invitation. Act now. Obey the stirring. Support the mission through the links in the description, and watch how heaven responds to your obedience.